One question I get a lot of times is how often should I be releasing my music? When do I know when to release more music? When do I know when to slow down because I'm releasing too much music? Well, today we are going to talk about that very topic. What's going on? Welcome to the Music into Millions podcast, and today we are going to be talking about how often we should be releasing our music. And right off the front, I'm going to tell you guys there is no right or wrong answer to this. It all comes down to your personal preference and what works best with you and your brand. So we're going to talk about some different factors in there that's going to kind of contribute to how often you should be releasing music for your career. So one thing that you want to keep in mind is quality. Alright, you never want to get to a point to where you feel like you need to release so much music that the quality takes a hit. And on the flip side of that, you should never be so focused on the quality that you never release music. Because there's a happy medium you need to find in the middle. Because there are people out there who they will spend 6 months working on one song. They'll tweak knobs, they'll pan things this way, they'll, dub this, add another layer of vocals here. They'll do all these different things to fix a song, but they never release a song. They just keep working on it and keep working on it and keep working on it until one day they're like, you know what, I don't ever want to listen to this again because they heard it so many times, and so it never ends up going out into the public. That is a problem. That's basically being a perfectionist, and when it comes to music, you can't have a perfectionist mindset. It's okay to want things to be close to perfect because obviously we want to be as close to perfect as possible. But one thing you need to keep in mind is it is impossible to have a perfect song, a perfect album, a perfect anything. No matter what somebody says, it's never going to be 100% perfect. So get that out of your mind now. Stop focusing on making a perfect product and start making a product that you enjoy. Start making a product that you love, and that's more important than coming up with something that's perfect. Because perfect doesn't always translate into something that we love anyways. Because I know there are plenty of songs that half the reason I love it is because, the bass is too loud, or because the vocals are just a little bit too gritty, or maybe they messed up the way they were supposed to say a line, but now that became like the highlight of the song. All those different factors contribute into making a great song, and if you're focused on making every detail perfect, you're going to be so afraid to release a song that you never will. And so on the flip side of that, like I was saying earlier, is you don't want to be so focused on I need to drop, that you don't care about the quality of your song. I know artists that they'll record 10 songs a day, throw the most crappy mix on them, and then they'll put it out on SoundCloud, and they'll do that, once a week, twice a week. And it's like, yeah, you got a lot of music, but is it really good music? Are people wanting to listen to it? Because there's a point where it's too imperfect or there's too much going on that it doesn't sound good. So you got to find that proper balance of is the music good quality and is it ready for it to be put out? That's really the only two factors that are important for when putting a song out. Is it good quality, and do I love it? Is it ready to be put out? Don't worry about if it's perfect because you're just going to put yourself into a frozen state where you never release any music. So then once you have that in mind, it's important to think what works for your brand. So if you're the type of brand where you like to have visuals for everything, like music videos, and you're very, there's dances and stuff that you like to do, or you like to be on Instagram, like I said, very visually, you may take more time in between songs because you want to get your stage performance worked on. Like for when you're touring with that song, you may want to make a real elaborate cinematic music video. So you may have a little bit more time between each release because there's different factors in there that are giving you more content to put out. But on the flip side, you may be somebody who you're not great with music videos. You may be camera shy. Like I'm personally pretty camera shy myself. Like even being on camera right now, I'm not the biggest fan of, but I'm getting better at. You're probably the type of person who just wants to make song after song after song and just be in the studio, and that's fine. There are some artists out there like Russ who, when they were coming up, they put out a new song every single week. There are some people now, I forget the name, but there's a group of people on TikTok. They actually, I think, are called Song a Day. And they literally put out one song every single day. And that is insane, but the reason it's possible is because they have a whole team of people behind them creating these songs. And they're not, 3-4 minute songs. They're normally like 40 seconds to 2 minutes tops. Real quick, fun songs about a whole bunch of random topics. They're not always amazing. Some of them are actually pretty amazing. Like they had one blow up about Baby Yoda that got stuck in my head, and that's actually how I found them. But yeah, off on that tangent. Basically, just find what works best for you and your brand volume-wise and be consistent with it. I know we talked about consistency this week, and it's important with not only posting daily, but it's important with posting your music consistently too. So find what works and stick to that schedule. If it's every 2 weeks, stick to every 2 weeks. Set a day out of that week, and every day at that specific time, you drop a new song. If it's every other day, if you're able to do that, if you have a team behind you, you have an engineer, a producer, and you guys are just, a workhorse cranking stuff out, put out every other day. But find what works best for you. Like I said, there's no right or wrong answer. It's just finding a balance. You don't want to be focused too much on perfection, and you don't want to just be dropping too much. You want to make sure, because when you do get to a point to where you're dropping too much as well, it actually almost gets to a point to where fans aren't looking for it anymore because they know, oh, okay, another one's going to come out today. Another one's going to come out today. Another one's going to come out today. So they almost stop looking for it because it's better to have a cool-off period between songs. One, to let the song breathe a little bit, so that way you're not just like, here's a single, here's a single, here's a single, here's a single. Give that song time to breathe. So like, say you have a song that you really know is doing well, or you really know is something special, let that be its own single for like 2 weeks. Promote the crap out of it. Make dances, make videos, make whatever you need to do to make that video and song really pop, but let it breathe. Don't just feel like, okay, I dropped one, now I gotta drop another one. But when that song starts to die out in momentum, that's when it's a great time to bring in the next song, and you just keep going that way. That's why artists like Drake or Kendrick Lamar, they don't have to post an album every year. They can post an album every other year and still be okay, because fans know when they drop music, it is quality music, and it's music that they love. So find what works best for you, and as you begin to, develop your brand, people are going to learn to expect when to expect music from you, and they'll vocalize when they want music from you. Trust me, there are some fans out there that if they don't get music quick enough from an artist, they will start hopping in all their Instagram comments, Facebook comments like, we need the album, we need the album. That happened, I think, with Roddy Ricch right before his album came out. People were like relentless. Oh no, it was Boogie. On Shady Records, Boogie, before he dropped his record, literally, people were like, we need Boogie's album, we need Boogie's album, we need Boogie's album. He would post about the most random topic, and people were bombarding him like, so is that album out yet? When's the album coming out? And it was all a big joke, but it's the fact that fans will let you know when they're ready for more music from you. But don't wait on that period. You got to be consistent. So like I said, I don't know if this helped at all. I just wanted to kind of give you guys my thoughts on the topic about when is the best time to release your music and when is not. So keep that in mind. Find out what works for you. Have a great day.